Hi, my name is Bibek Adhikari. I am your English instructor. In today's class, we are going to solve the grammar portion of Unit 12, that is subject-verb agreement. So, let's begin. Now we are going to study about subject and verb agreement. I have taken this table from your book and now let's study these examples. On the left-hand side, we have some examples and on the right-hand side, we have some other examples. Something is quite different. And what is different? We are going to find out. Let's start. He helps needy people. You help poor people. She likes watching serials. We like watching cricket. Either they or she has asked for support. Neither Dawa nor his friends have asked any questions. The writer and editor is walking on the road. The writer and the editor are walking on the road. None of the garbage was picked up. None of the sentences were written correctly. One of the students of this class is missing. Some of the students of this class are missing. Does the driver come on time? Do the drivers come on time? A cow is grazing. The cattle are grazing. Now, can you find out the differences? Sure you can. Let's look at the first column. We have a V5 here, likewise another V5 here. This is what we call a V5, a plural noun. It is also a V5. This is also a V5. We have all the cases of V5, that is plural noun. And if you go to the second column, you would find that there are many V1, right? There are many V1. These V5s are called singular verbs. What are they called? Verbs like has or is and was and other V5s, they are called singular verbs. Singular verbs. While verbs like are, do, were, have and other V1s, they are called plural verbs. From these examples, we can derive a fact that singular subject takes singular verb, while plural subject takes plural verb. Singular subject takes singular verb and plural subject takes plural verb. And this kind of agreement is called subject-verb agreement. And it is often called concurred in the language of grammar. Alright, let's study about subject-verb agreement or concurred in detail. Let's start by learning the basic rule. What is the basic rule? Like I said earlier, the basic rule is singular subject takes singular verb while plural subject take plural verbs. So this is the basic rule. Let's write one example. So this is the basic example that I have written. Nitesh is a tennis player. Anil and Pukar are tennis players. Now, Nitesh is a singular subject. It is a singular subject, so it takes a singular verb. While Anil and Pukar, we have one subject and another subject, and it is combined by a little word called and such kind of subject is called combined subject. Now, combined subject is a plural subject, and plural subject takes plural verb. Very good. So this is the basic rule. What is the basic rule? I repeat it again. Singular subject takes singular verb, while plural subject take plural verbs. Let's study about this in detail. So what are singular verbs and singular subjects? Let's find out. Singular subject plus singular verbs. What are singular verbs? They are is, was, has, does, and V5. So what is the another rule? Come on. It is plural subjects take plural verbs. Very good. And what are plural verbs? They are, were, have, do, and finally V1. Very good. The first form of the verb. Let's write some examples and you will be very clear, right? Let's write one example. A panda is a shy creature. What is the plural form or plural sentence of this? It is pandas are shy creatures. Let's write one more example. She does not speak French. They do speak French, right? Let's study these examples. First, keep in mind the basic rule. What is the basic rule? Singular subjects take singular verbs while plural subjects take plural verbs. Very good. So a panda is a singular subject. A panda is a singular verb. A panda is a shy creature. Very shy, very reserved, does not talk much. Right? Now pandas is a plural subject. Are shy creatures. Now that is a plural verb. Very shy. She does not speak French. Now does not is a singular verb. See is a singular subject. They do speak French. Now in this sentence the word do is trying to emphasize something, is trying to give priority to speaking French. Now do is a plural subject and plural subject takes plural verb. Correct? She does not speak French. They do speak French. Very French. Okay. Now let's write the rules in detail. Let's write some rules of agreement. The first one is singular nouns and pronouns. For example, his friend looks funny to me. Another example, the man was swimming in the river. Let's study these examples. His friend is a singular pronoun. Singular pronoun, so it takes a singular verb. The man is a singular noun, so it takes the singular verb. What is the rule? Let's be sure about the rule. Rule number 1. Singular nouns and pronouns that denote one always agree with singular verbs. So what is the rule? Singular nouns agree with singular verbs. Singular nouns agree with singular verbs. Very good. Let's go to another rule. Plural nouns and pronouns. For example, Lisa and Mona are best friends. His friends look funny to me. So what is the basic rules? Lisa and Mona, they are plural nouns. So plural nouns, they take plural verbs. Very good. His friends is a plural pronoun and plural pronouns take, what do they take? They take plural verbs. So what is the rule? Rule number 2. Rule number 2 is plural nouns agree with plural verbs. Plural nouns agree with plural verbs. Plural nouns and plural pronouns also. Plural nouns and plural pronouns, they all agree with plural verbs. What are plural verbs? A quick reminder. Let's come on. Say, what are plural verbs? They are, were, have, do, and finally the V1. Let's study other rules also. Now let's go to the rule number 3. The rule number 3 is we have something called indefinite pronouns. Do you know what are indefinite pronouns? Indefinite pronouns are those pronouns which do not define the exact nouns. So that means it could be anybody, anything, right? Some of the examples of indefinite pronouns are either, where's neither? So neither also. We have anybody, we have everybody, we have nobody, somebody, neither. Okay, neither is here, no problem. We have anyone, then we have everyone, we have someone, we have no one, and we have one. So these are all indefinite pronouns. So what do? The main question is, what verbs do these indefinite pronouns take? So that is the main question. They all take singular verbs. I know there's an exception. You must be thinking about the cases where these indefinite pronouns take the plural verbs, but we'll go there in a short while. Let's first study about indefinite pronouns taking the singular verbs. The first one is either Ram or Sham has failed the exam. Another example could be everybody is laughing now. So if we study this example, we have either or, Ram or Sham. So we are not sure which one. Either Ram or Sham has failed. So it is a singular verb because it follows indefinite. Because indefinite pronoun. It precedes indefinite pronoun. Okay. Everybody is laughing. Is a singular verb. Everybody is an indefinite pronoun. Correct? But there's an exception to this rule. Let's study about that exception. For example, both men were charged of murder. Few people live to be 100. So if we study these two examples, we would find that both men is indefinite pronoun, but it takes a plural verb. And few people is also an indefinite pronoun, but it takes plural verb. So words like both, few, many, several, and others. So these words like both, few, many, several, and others, they always take, what do they take? They always take plural verbs. So that is the exception, right? Another thing is there's slight deviation to the first rule number 3, the first part of rule number 3. If I write something like this, each and every student has a textbook. Now each and every is an indefinite pronoun. It is followed by a singular verb. What I mean to say here, it is followed by a singular verb. What I mean to say is subjects with each of, every, either, either of, neither, neither of, one of, and so on are always singular and agree with singular verbs. Let's go to another rule, that is uncountable nouns. Let's first write some examples and you'll be very clear. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. Let's write another example. Coffee is the best human invention. If we study these two examples, we would find that water and coffee, they both are uncountable nouns and they are followed by singular verbs. Correct? They are followed by what? Singular verbs. So what is the rule? What is the grammar rule? The grammar rule is uncountable nouns are always singular and they agree with singular verbs. Now I want you to think of as many uncountable nouns as you can. So let's start with some liquids. Can you give me some of the names? Uncountable names. Let's start with juice. Juice is uncountable. Water is uncountable. Coffee is uncountable. You cannot count coffee. Sure, you can say a cup of coffee and all that, but that is still uncountable. So these are some of the uncountable nouns. Now gases. Gases are also uncountable. You cannot count gases, right? An oxygen is uncountable. So no, an oxygen. Oxygen is uncountable. Air is uncountable. Carbon dioxide is uncountable, and things like that. Now if you go to the food section, you would find foods. Most of the foods are uncountable. Cake is uncountable. Bread is uncountable. Jam is uncountable. Meat is uncountable. So many uncountable nouns. Other words like dust, salt, sand, sugar, gold, iron, silver, malaria, cancer, measles. So these are all uncountables. Even abstract ideas are uncountable. Abstract ideas, not concrete ideas, but rather abstract ideas. Abstract ideas like love, hate, truth, honesty. So these all abstract ideas are countable nouns. So love is a beautiful thing, not love are a beautiful thing. So hatred is bad. Honesty is the best policy. Truth should be spoken. Very good. Now let's go to rule number 5, and it is called verbal nouns. Let's write one example. Walking is a healthy exercise. To err is human. So if we study these two examples, we would find that walking is a verbal noun, err is a verbal noun, right? Or to err is a verbal noun, and it is followed by a singular verb. So what the main question is, what are verbal nouns? What are verbal nouns? Now verbal nouns are gerunds plus two infinitives, right? Gerund means V4 or verb ing, but it is not acting as a verb but rather as a noun. Two infinitives mean 2 plus V1, and it is still acting as a noun, not as a verb. To err, that is to make mistake, is human. So verbal nouns always take singular verbs. Some more examples could be to walk is healthy, right? To smoke is injurious to your health. So these are other two examples. To walk is a verbal noun, to smoke is a verbal noun, and it is always followed by a singular verb. Let's go to another rule. We have something called adjectives as subjects. Adjectives as subjects. For example, the poor are given shelter. Another example could be the rich are often happy. So if we look at these two examples, you would find the poor and the rich are adjectives and they are acting as subjects, and now it is followed by a plural verb. What is the grammar rule here? So let's induce the grammar rule. The grammar rule is some adjectives with the definite article the, some adjectives with the definite article the takes, what does it take? Takes plural verbs, because it is itself acting as a plural noun, right? Some other examples could be the old are treated with great compassion, the young have great expectations, right? The intelligent are selected, the Chinese are hardworking. I know there are so many rules, maybe 20-25 rules. I'm not going to teach all of them here because it is not possible. Maybe I would do in another section of this video, but for now I'm going to give you some homework as usual, and your homework is find out a paragraph from any kind of book. Find out a paragraph from a book, underline the verbs, see how the subjects and the verbs agree. So this is your homework. Find out a paragraph, any kind of paragraph, does not matter what paragraph, any kind of paragraph from a book, any book, does not matter. Underline the verbs. Your main concern is to underline the verbs and see how the subjects and the verbs agree. So that is your homework, the subject-verb agreement. Now I want you to deduce the rules, right? I want you to, induce the rules from the given examples. That's your homework. With this, we have come to the end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this video series, feel free to write us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.